and today we're going to create a little one of these, a little rustic wood slice ornament. So if you ordered an ornament kit, this is going to be your DIY. I'll post it on my website too, just in case you missed it. So what you're going to need is a wood slice. You're going to need a flower and some greenery bits and bobs, and of course some fun little other stuff as well. So the first tip is definitely going to be to take your twine or whatever you have first. Sometimes I forget and I don't put the twine until the end. So you definitely want to put the twine in first just so you don't have to worry about it later, trying to squeeze it in among everything else. And with your twine, you can do a little knot or you can do a fancier bow or something like that. But I usually just do a little knot, something pretty simple. And then you can trim off the edges later on. Try to get it up as close to the end as I can. There we go. And then I always just slide it so that the knot hides in the back and so that you don't see it. Okay, so next thing you're gonna need is your glue gun and of course some glue sticks, lots of glue to get this going. Before I put the flower on, I like to take my greenery and create a little base. So what's fun about this is you've got these big pieces of greenery and we are going to actually just break them into smaller pieces and put them all the way around your wood slice. So you can break it with your fingers, you can cut it with a wire cutter, you can cut it with scissors, however you like to do it. So I cut a few pieces just to start. I'm gonna start with 4 and we'll see how we go here. And so I'm gonna kind of put these around my ornament and sort of place them and get an idea. I'm gonna cover up the center of all of that. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit so you can see. And then I'm gonna come in with my other piece of greenery and same thing. So I'm gonna break this greenery apart and just to show you, you really can break it with your hands. Just pull, that easy. I like to cut off the bottom nubs as well because they get kind of like a little too thick when they're on there. So same thing, I'm gonna just break this apart, cut off the little bottom bit, boop. And then we're ready to glue. So I'm gonna kind of put those pieces, I think, in between. I need to be a little bit shorter. Let's see how it goes. So just starting off, I want to avoid gluing where the little hole is at the top, just so that that can move or if I ever have to replace it. And I'm going to come in and I like to use my glue gun so that I don't get burnt. So put like a little glob there, put my first piece of greenery down, and then I press it with my glue gun so I'm not burning my finger. You can also use a wire. You can use, if you have one of those little rubber like sewing finger covers, those are great as well, a big stick, pretty much whatever you got. So I'm gonna put all of one kind of greenery down first, just to get a nice base with that. And you don't have to be shy with the glue, no one's really gonna see it. Hold it down for a second just so it feels like it's there, and then come around with your other pieces. So these are fun and easy ornaments to make. They are kid-friendly if your kid's old enough to use a glue gun. If they're not old enough to use a glue gun, you definitely want to give a little bit of help. I would say gluing the greenery on, you don't want to do with like Elmer's glue. There's some crafts you can do with other types of glue that take longer to set. I probably wouldn't do that with the greenery. It definitely needs the good glob of glue to really like hold it in there. So we've got the base. It doesn't look like too much yet, right? It looks a little funny actually. But once there's a flower on there, it'll look super cute, and we'll add our other greenery as well. So I want to come back in with my pine pieces and do the pine next. So I'm just kind of figuring out, I'm going to go in between each of these pieces of cypress and glue a little. This one's the top. I have to be kind of careful. I didn't leave a very big gap where the string was. Just want to make sure my string can still move. So definitely don't glue that. And they can stick out as much or as little as you want. Really, it's your preference. It can be kind of just little peaks, or it can be kind of wild and crazy as well. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Woo. So now I've glued my other pieces on. I'm just holding them down, making sure they're definitely still there. And you've got sort of like, it almost looks like a snowflake of greenery going on there as well. And so now it's time to add in your flower. And sometimes the back of the flower has like, it sticks up a lot. So I cut mine off, I don't know if you can see that, to make it nice and flat. So here's the bit that I cut off. If yours is not already flat, then you don't have to worry about it. You can just use a pair of scissors, you can use your wire cutters, whatever you like. And then you're gonna just kind of decide which way do you like your flower. Turn it in all directions, which is your favorite way of doing it. And then you are gonna glue so much on the bottom of your flower. I put a little bit even around. I think the more the merrier that we have to grab onto here. And you're gonna definitely press it down. If you can't really press your flower down because it's got pokey bits, gently hold it down as much as you can. You just wanna make sure the glue really gets in there. And already it's looking pretty cute, but we're gonna add some more to that as well. So, let's see. I'm gonna come in with my little berries that I've got here, and you can pull these right off down this, but you don't need that much wire on these. So I'm actually just gonna cut them with my wire cutters. I'm using some giant wire cutters. You don't need ones this big. Yours might already be cut. We just need a little bit to sort of glue in and around there. So I kind of want to just think, where do I need those berries? I also want to do some pine cones. So I need to steal some pine cones real quick. I forgot to grab those. So I just need like a couple little pine cones. So I'm always looking for where's my big gap. So if I have a nice gap where I can see the mechanics, that's kind of where I want to put my pine cone. So like I know right there I want a pine cone. And these, again, just a bunch of glue right on there. Gently kind of slide it in, let it catch on some greenery, let it catch on the wood. If you think it needs a little extra glue, you can add it. Hold it down till the glue has that like initial hardening. And I'm gonna come in over on this side. Sometimes I'll just glue right on here too and just let it seep down. Kind of push my pine cone in there. Hold it for a second. And I'm gonna do one more. I like things in threes. Just like looks visually pleasing to the eye. So we're gonna sneak this one in right over here. Oop. And I'm gonna have a nice like overhead view of how to do this on my website as well that I'm filming at the same time. So, so we've got the basics. We've got the initial pine cone right there. And then we're gonna glue in those berries, and then you can come back and fill with some other bits and bobs as well, just in case you've still got some other gaps to fill. So we're gonna put some berries in. I kind of like to do them, they don't have to be even, so just wherever it feels right to you. Like again, if you have a little gap that needs covering, like I can see a little spot right there. I feel like I could use something. So I'm gonna stick this in. It is good to leave a little stem so that you can slide it down in there and it'll grab onto something. Otherwise you have to try to just glue the ball down, which is okay too, the berry. And then we're gonna come on this side. So I can see a little gap over here for sure. Need a little something. And it's okay to put maybe a couple berries together. You don't have to do them individually either. I'm trying to evenly space them, but they don't need to be. In fact, I have an odd number of berries, so I'll probably do 2 in a spot, I think on this side, just because I've got a gap right there. And then you can come back in with like little bits of greenery as well. Or if you have other fun fillers or things laying around that you can add. So you've got the basic ornament. If you look at it from all sides, you can see it's created a little, just a sweet little ornament that you can hang on your tree, you could hang on a window, or do whatever you would like, to be honest with you. These make great little like window hanging diffusers just because you can add an essential oil to them. I have other little pieces of greenery, so if there is a gap in a spot, which I feel like there is right there, I'm actually gonna add this little bit that I pulled off earlier. And then I'm gonna slide that right in here, especially because it's on the top and I feel like people might see that spot the most. Otherwise, if I give it a good twirl, it honestly looks pretty done and ready to go.